Hello, welcome to art class. This year in art, one of the projects we will focus on is something called an artist trading card. Artist trading cards, or ATC cards, are small works of art. They are only 2.5 by 3.5 inches. They are the same size as a baseball card. They are called artist trading cards because they are meant to be traded. We will trade the cards in our class this year as we try different mediums of art supplies. An artist uses art supplies and they are called mediums. Markers, paint, oil pastels, these are all mediums that we will work with this year. Can you think of any others that we might try? We will use the ATC cards to learn about the elements of art: line, shape, color, texture, value, and space. On the back of this card, you will see that there are two numbers, 2 of 4. This means that the artist made 4 cards. This is the second one that they made. You can also see a list of all the materials that she used to make this card. Some media are things that you would not think of. For instance, on this card, the artist used string. And on this one, the artist used a brad. This card is 1 of 4, the first one out of 4 cards that were made. You will be making 5 cards today. This artist used hinges. She also used gel sticks, spray color, stamps, and markers. Pictures can also be used. So what you will need for your cards are 2 pieces of styrofoam, 5 pieces of cardstock that are cut to 2.5 by 3.5, a pen, a pencil is helpful too, and some scratch paper. I am tracing the card so that I know where to draw my lines on my scratch paper. Now you may draw a picture if you want to. I chose to do just a design with curvy lines and straight lines. Whatever you choose to do, please remember to make your lines farther apart. Do not make them too close together. If you make them too close together, the print will come out very hard to see because it will all run together. So you can see that my lines are far apart, nothing is very close. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, going to flip my paper over onto the styrofoam plate, and now I will use a pen to trace over the lines that I can see from the back. It is much easier to pull your pen toward you rather than to push the pen away from you as you are doing this. You will see me do both things, and you will also see me do a light line first just so that I can see on the plate where my drawing is, and then I will take the paper off and make the lines much thicker. If your lines are too thin, you will not get a good print. it will look faded or not come out at all. And see, I ripped my paper. That's okay. We're only going to use that paper once. You may also accidentally poke a hole into your styrofoam. That's not a big deal. Just try not to make too many holes or your styrofoam will fall apart. All right, I have finished that part, and now I am choosing how to color it. I'm using these washable markers, which will work great for this project, or you can use the washable ink pads that are on the tables. I am going to choose to use the markers because I can control the color and I can use more than one color. So here I am using all colors from the red and yellow family. So not only am I using line, I'm also using a little bit of the element of color. I don't get the best print off of this, and it's because my paper is a little bit dry. You should have a spray bottle on your table. Only get your paper a tiny bit damp. If you get it too wet, make sure to wipe it with some paper towel or blot the water up. But my paper was dry, and so my print is a little bit faded. And you can see I'm pushing all around that plate to get the ink off onto my paper. This is called pulling a print. So the styrofoam is the plate, and the paper, when you pull it from the plate, it's called pulling a print. So this is the first one of 5 that I will be doing. So on the back I would write 1 of 5. And now I am working on the signature plate. Sorry, my mind went blank. The signature plate is where you're going to put your name, and I am leaving lines to put in the information that will change every time I make a card. So I may not make 5 cards every time I make a card, but today I will, and so I'm going to make a line, and then I'm going to make another one for the media that I use and another one for the date, and then I'm going to write my name. Now this is super important. You can see that as I flip my paper over and when I copy it, the letters will be backwards. This card needs to be that way. If you do not flip that paper over, no one will be able to read the back of your card without a mirror. And while that might be fun on another card, do not do that on this one. Make sure that it is readable. Make sure that you flip that paper over and trace your letters onto your card. They will look backwards, but when you print them, they will come out just fine. You can see my Y is backwards, my N is backwards, my D looks like a B. And I put a fish at the end because when I sign my artwork, that is what I put, a little tiny fish. And now I'm going back over it again so that I get it deep enough that the color does not go into those grooves and it leaves a mark on my paper. I'm getting ready to pull my print. I'm coloring the back, and a couple mistakes I made. The first mistake is that when I tried to pull this print, I tried to slide my paper into camera view because you could not see it very well. When I did that, my stamp slipped and made a big mess on the back of my paper. See? And so when I pulled it, you can't even read my name. So if that happens, get a new piece of cardstock, try again, and then glue them together so you don't have to do the front over again. Yeah, can't read it. Don't know who that belongs to. It's a mess. So I'm going to do it again, and this time I make the mistake of not coloring all the way to the edge of my plate, and so my fish's tail does not come out. And here you're going to see me put the paper on top, which also you may want to try that. Instead of putting the plate on top, you may put the paper on top and then give the good massage. Give a good massage to your paper. Ah, the paper likes it. When you pull that print, that's nice and clean. I don't know why there's a line through the ATC. There was ink there, but I don't know why that happens. Sometimes that happens. On the back, it's not quite so important as long as it's readable, but you don't want something like that to happen on the front. You would pull another print. And here I'm doing 1 of 5. I am writing what I used, markers. I am writing the date. Anyway, that is our project for today. Go get your stuff and get started.